Because I've done the no frame thing before. And actually I
Yeah.
haven't, because I'll refuse to have sex on the ground.
Yeah.
Unless it's like in a hot way.
Yeah.
But it should not be the default.
No.
Ugh.
But it was, I mean, I would have rather had.
single?
Yeah, I would have rather had it on the ground, to be very fucking honest.
I wouldn't even bother having sex with myself in a single bed.
Welcome to the Audacity.
In this episode, we're talking about the early stages of love.
Ew. Stay tuned.
Welcome back.
Hello.
I hope you enjoyed the previous episode. We certainly had a blast.
We did. It flew by, didn't it, when we were recording?
Just like, well, riding a bicycle, even though you can't.
I know.
That's how we ended things, but that's how it felt.
But just like old times, because we've never had
just like old times.
a hiccupy episode, I would say.
No, we are back in business.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we are starting a 2-part series.
Indeed.
By popular demand about 2 topics we love to talk about.
Indeed.
Communication, obvi, and love.
That's me gagging.
Yeah, parts of it will be like that. Parts of it might be a bit more romantic. Everything will be spicy no matter what.
Indeed. We got a lot of feedback saying that number one, they loved our relationship and sex episode. From previous season, we've got like amazing feedback there. So we knew we had to make
I think it was our most popular episode as well. And especially that was the episode where we were super nervous to overshare and then listen back to afterwards and realize we didn't really
share anything,
hit the stories that we could
at all.
So we're gonna try to do that today. Oh, I just got butterflies.
I know. So we're not gonna name names.
No.
But we're definitely gonna share,
mostly because we don't all remember them.
Also, I don't want to be, legally charged.
Yeah, that too.
No, but we're going to be sharing some stories. It's going to be intimate. It's going to be personal. It's going to be up close. Yeah. You're going to see our pores at some point because it's going to be that close.
I mean, yeah, we are talking about sex a bit, so it's going to be there. But not just that. I mean, yes, we are talking about hooking up and friends with benefits later on. But first, we're going to talk about kind of the early stages of love. Dating apps, meeting people, first dates. In the next episode, we're continuing falling in love, relationships, marriage, and then
the end.
A big grand finale.
Yes.
The end.
So basically what we're trying to cover is like the evolution of an entire relationship.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, a relationship that probably doesn't last if we're going to talk about the end.
If we know where it's going. And obviously, there's no right or wrong way.
Absolutely.
Some of this is personal experience. Some of this is personal fantasy.
Yes.
A lot of it is rooted in our parents' love. That's like the model I always have to live up to, which is a pressure. But we'll get to that next time.
Yes. But basically, we're going to be covering all of that. And
hopefully it's stuff you've experienced. So please let us know.
Yeah, and we want to preface this by saying every relationship is different.
Yeah.
Everything is different. Every experience is different. And I definitely don't compare any of the relationships / situationships / anything else I've had with each other. I don't know about you, Mark.
I have an Excel sheet.
So
it's a complex rating system.
So as you can see, even the way we perceive it is different. So yeah.
But if you want to find out the rest, you'll have to keep listening. But in the meantime, a brief little word from our sponsor.
You're listening to the Audacity.
Well, getting back to things now, you now know what the episode is about. So mom and dad,
Please don't.
this is probably your time to skip ahead.
Yes, skip ahead or just don't listen
Yeah,
at
just
all.
Sit this one out.
Sit this one out. Play it in the background so that we get like more views and more plays.
On mute,
On
please.
mute, but don't listen.
And everyone else, get ready to share this on social media.
Yes.
Please help us grow.
Indeed, at audacity.fm. We're found everywhere except on Twitter. We're audacity_FM.
All over the place. But really, just start with that. Linktree/audacity.fm. You'll find all of our social medias there. All of the podcasting platforms were available. You can also find us there on Anchor, where you can support us with a contribution or send in a voice message, which we would love to feature in an episode someday. Enough of that.
Let's move on.
Let's get into it.
Yes.
What were we both doing before we hit the record button?
Jesus Christ. We were on Tinder.
Swiping on Tinder.
Let's start with how you got into dating apps.
Okay.
And then,
Well, first of all, I don't know any people our age who don't primarily date via dating app these days. I don't know how you meet people in the real world.
if you're from a small town like me, oh, I know.
Okay, but at least here.
Yeah, here.
Especially here. Like we've both lived here for over 3 years.
Yikes.
We've met like one person ever, not through uni or work or something. You just don't really meet people in the wild.
Yeah. I mean, now that I think of it, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I don't even think.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, I mean, we've covered this in like our previous episodes as well.
Yeah.
People aren't the approaching type here
No.
at all. You sit in a bar, you sit in a club, you sit in the streets. No one's gonna bother you for shizzle.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless like they're genuinely catcalling you.
And that's not the
Yeah,
that's not the topic of this.
Yeah, and we're not
And that's not the attention we want.
exactly. They're not. And that's just, I mean, I find it that it's a pity because I'd love to be hit on. And
Aw.
I get it. Like, some people don't want that attention, and some people don't want to be put.
But we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and it's like it's obviously an extra topic here because of the
Yeah.
Dutch culture.
Indeed.
Which we'd have to come back to. But it's also just like a big city thing. There are a lot of strangers just wandering around.
But having said that, I mean, I thought it was just exclusively for us and for me, like dating as a brown person, let's say.
Okay.
I
true.
thought it was like that. But no, I've talked to a lot of my European friends and colleagues, and they have the same reaction. They're like, no, like it's just never going to happen.
It just doesn't.
And even on like public forums on the internet and stuff like that, that's the same comment that I've seen again and again and again, is that number one, approaching and being approached is such a foreign concept here. So yeah, so that's why we stuck to apps.
That's why dating apps are our friend.
Indeed.
Which dating apps have you used?
Okay, so
We already covered Tinder, right? That's our
Yeah.
app, sure.
I started out with Bumble because I thought, oh my God, Tinder is like so like, you know, slutty. It's only for hooking up. Obviously, Bumble's like every dating app's the same, basically. But Bumble is more, it's marketed in a way that makes it seem, you know, a little classy.
Yes.
But it really isn't.
None of them are. Spoiler alert.
No, it's just that you have to, in case you didn't know what Bumble is, it's a dating app where if you're a female or a woman, you have to make the move first.
Yes.
I don't know if it's the same for gay Bumble.
Gay Bumble. Download it from the gay app store today using your gay Apple ID. I need a hate crime button on the soundboard.
You know I didn't mean it like that.
I know, but it was just funny. I think whoever makes the connection,
Swipey.
someone has to swipe first. So
Yeah.
whoever the last swiper is has to initiate.
Last swiper.
Yeah.
That's
Kind of,
funny
you know, like on
concept.
Tinder, sometimes you'll match on someone or sometimes you've already swiped and they'll just appear later on.
Yes.
That got technical for no reason. Bumble's kind of boring.
Yeah. The only good thing about it is you can specify your height and your zodiac signs. Two very important elements.
Those are very important for you.
And then I tried to explore my horizons by making a Hinge account.
Okay.
And then I got banned.
Blocca al Facebook, blocca al WhatsApp, blocca telefonet, blocca Instagram, blocca. Asal, block.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It wasn't. It's not really a scandalous story that I did something horrendous and I got banned.
Yeah.
Basically, I have a family Apple account, right?
Okay.
But the auto fill of the location, the geolocation, and the phone numbers is always back home.
Gotcha.
So every time I try to set an account up with my number here, it would automatically get the geolocation of back home.
Whoops.
And I did that about 5-6 times, and then Hinge was like, "You're no longer allowed to do it anymore. You're banned."
Oh no.
So I'm like, oh well.
Oh no. Well, there you go.
Yes.
If you're wanting to try out Hinge, make sure you're using a personal and or a gay Apple ID account.
Yes. Your email address also should have gay in it.
25% discount. I wish. We deserve it.
Right. With the drama we go through.
I know.
Oh. Anyway.
There's a handful of other dating apps.
But that's it for me.
Yeah.
I know you're on Grindr.
Also that one. It's there. You know, it rightfully has so much hatred towards it and backlash. Yeah, I mean, it's like a cesspool of toxicity.
As is every.
That's a really big word for me today. I've been struggling.
I know.
But you know, I treat it very, very lightheartedly, very comedically even.
Yeah.
But lately I haven't been using either.
Really?
Too much. Too much going on. Not enough space in my head.
No think.
No think?
No think.
No.
No, but yeah.
And arguably, I think you could meet the love of your life on a dating app. No prejudice against it.
Yeah.
But most of them are just meant for hooking up, honestly.
Truly. And
no shade, no problem with that.
No. Obviously. I mean, when I first started using dating apps, that was a thing. I used to get attached to every man who would give me an ounce of attention.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, this is it. This is going to be my story. This is going to be included in the video I play on my wedding day where I say,
so cute. He sent me a wink and then I followed him on Instagram.
And here we are. Disgusting, truly. Now Tinder is a place of stress relief for me.
Oh.
And it's because I get to reject straight white men all day. And isn't that like the best power move ever?
Yeah, I love bullying men on the internet.
And I know I'm rejecting because Tinder gives you a notification saying, oops, you missed a match. Oops, you missed a match.
Oh, true.
And I'm like, I know I did. I rejected a match.
My newest Tinder feature I hate is when it says, this is a very popular user. Are you sure you don't want to send them a super like? I'm like, you know what? I like them less now.
Exactly.
Did you not take an economics class?
I hated it so much. I'm like, why are you giving these men so much importance?
And that's
like,
I get so mad when that comes up. I don't even bother to close the notification. I shut the app. I'm like, I know I'm done
fuck
now.
off. Yeah.
Ugh.
And the app is so flawed in so many reasons because it rates you, number one. So
there's a lot of fascinating algorithm research. Even some of our teachers research like dating app algorithms. How all the attractiveness score works, and they've had problems with like racial bias in the scoring.
Yes. So basically, the score is based on how many matches you get or how many people swipe right on you.
Right. So, the logic being more people swipe must mean you're an attractive person. So that's at least what the computer goes
exactly. But the thing is, your attractiveness is then measured by, number one, your race, how you look, how you present yourself,
Yeah.
etc., etc.
And of course, it can infer all of this, by analyzing your text or your music
Yeah.
choices, or if you
Yeah.
link it to Facebook or whatever the composition of your, literally any of those variables,
Yeah.
it's tracking.
Yeah.
So it can sell you.
Yeah, and this is the bit that Tinder has released up until now. There's like a whole ocean underneath
true.
that we don't know what's going on.
I mean, I think at least they've had to make some modifications because they've gotten backlash.
yeah, and they've gotten into trouble
Yes.
for that.
Anyways, it's there. We like it sometimes. It's a nice.
We never like it.
No, well, we like it when we need the gratification.
attention, yeah,
the
yeah.
attention. And I've met people off of it, so that's all that matters. I've actually met.
At what cost?
I've met great friends actually
Through
from
Tinder?
Tinder and Grindr.
Oh, absolutely. Me being friends with a straight white male.
Yeah. I know,
Yeah.
but
Not today, Satan.
but it's there. I mean, the whole purpose of these apps is to meet someone in the real world.
Yeah.
Right now, of course, it's a bit.
It's a weird
tricky.
situation.
Also, gosh, I mean, you could look. I don't know how many hundred matches I have.
I know.
Like, it's kind of silly that they'll just sit there until
I know.
until someone makes the move.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Most of them just sit doing nothing,
Ugh.
which I don't mind
That's
either.
that's what we're doing
Yeah.
too.
But if it does get somewhere,
If you've made it, so congrats. Maybe you've made it through the first stage of our 12-step relationship program.
which is stalking.
TM. Then maybe you'll get a chance to go on a first
First
date.
date. Okay, I want to start by asking, what is your overall perspective of first dates? Like, period. No Tinder, no whatever.
Well, like you were kind of saying, I used to get so overwhelmed with them, so thrown into them. Okay, it's coming. Like weeks in advance preparing. I have to have every inch of my body in pristine condition.
Yeah.
And I've got to pre-think conversations and do some research. And now I'm just like, oh, I'm supposed to be on that date 10 minutes ago. Let me send a message and head over. I think it's better to put a bit less
Pressure on.
it, of
Yeah.
course. First impressions, still big deal.
Very big deal.
I don't know, whatever
Yeah.
your brain does in 5 seconds, you'll figure out if
Yeah.
you like them or not.
True.
So that's still there. You got to deal with that. But I mean, especially for me, a young gay man in a city, I go on plenty of dates just to meet people, just to have, a Friday night activity.
Yeah.
If we're talking about normal circumstances,
yeah.
whatever. Not anymore at all.
Yeah.
But-
Pre-COVID.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a good chance. When I travel as well, I meet people. Or when I was in New York, I went on tons of dates just to like have an activity and an outing.
To do. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
I think the healthy
Way to
have
approach it. Yeah.
You really can't. You really shouldn't pretend this is like your audition for marriage, which
no,
is
no.
how I used to treat it.
Same. Yeah. I mean, I absolutely hate first dates. I think it's the worst
Yeah.
thing ever because it's awkward and like, I don't know, like there's a lot of cues that you cannot pick up on because you don't know the person
you
yet.
don't know them yet.
And then, so it's like, okay, are you going in for a hug or do you just want to say hi? I've had a guy handshake me on the first date, which I'm like, okay, disgusting. Goodbye.
Gross.
I know.
Huh. I've had a lot more in my hand shooken on the first
And then
date.
also like when do we talk about sex, or are we supposed to talk about sex or
Okay.
not?
Are you, in your opinion, is there anything off limits in first date conversation? Because
No.
a lot of people say,
No.
don't talk about
No.
family or money or politics, religion.
Absolutely not. I try to get that
Yeah.
out even while texting. So the first thing,
Before you'd even meet them.
Yeah.
I totally agree. That's,
yeah,
fun stuff to talk about.
indeed. So like I go through like a round of elimination where I give them like
Yeah.
who wants to be a millionaire sort of questions.
Yeah.
And I give them like, okay, what's your zodiac? How tall are you?
Oh, yeah.
Do you live alone or not? Like, are you comfortable driving to places or are you like a more public transportation guy?
very, very important.
Yeah.
I've only slept with half of a Republican and I'm trying to keep it that way. At
Ew.
max. That is too much for me. I know.
I know.
I wish I could take it back.
I know.
But these are things we got to pre-screen these days.
So
I don't think anything is off.
Yeah,
limits.
exactly. So, and the thing with first dates is that I haven't had much experience in the sense that I'm comparing it with you. So
I didn't become a little bit of a slag. I became a total slag.
You were saying.
So I haven't become a total slag yet. So I don't have much
I'm
first
trying my
dates.
best to guide you.
I know. So I haven't had many first dates, but I've had a few, and all of them have been so generic.
Aw.
Like it's nothing out there in terms of the best or the worst.
Yeah.
But yeah, first
Well,
impressions very important.
Yeah. I'm not saying it should compare to anything you've seen in a movie,
Yeah, of course.
but it should be more than generic to you.
Exactly.
Okay, so now I want to ask you.
Yeah.
What would your ideal first date look like?
Ooh, I've had so many men ask me this, and every time I give a different answer because, like,
Okay.
I have so many scenarios in my head.
Okay.
I would love a beach date. Like that is,
Aw.
I mean, the beaches in this country are absolute fucking pathetic
Yeah.
shit,
Yeah.
and garbage dump with foam, like sea foam. It's very disgusting.
I know.
But I would love a beach date. We have a few drinks. And if it turns out to be good,
Mm-hmm.
I can stop pretending to be a good girl and, have fun.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase the question though.
Yeah.
Not how do you think it would go? How would you want your ideal date to feel?
Ooh, him to feel?
No, no. No, you're on your, how would you want to feel in your
Oh.
ideal date?
I would want to feel happy.
Okay.
I would want to feel like, oh my God, this guy's like funny.
Yeah.
He gets me.
Yeah.
And I would want to see where this goes.
Got it.
And I don't want to put any pressure on it. I don't want to stress about like, oh my God, am I going to fall in love with him or not?
Which is within our nature
Yeah.
to do.
No, but it's
Yeah.
I don't want to stress about like that's not going to be my worry that
No.
am I going to fall in love with him? And what if I don't fall in love with him? Like disgusting. Who thinks like that?
And if you're busy worrying about that whilst on the date, you are definitely not engaging.
Nope.
It's not going to happen.
No, and
True.
that's too much think for me, I think. And especially on first dates or even the first few dates, even the first few months, I would say.
Yeah.
Who worries about shit like that, But that's my
That's your feeling.
feeling I want. I want to be
Aw.
happy.
Yeah.
I want to laugh. I want the guy to make me laugh a lot.
Yeah.
And also like I wouldn't mind if he's an eye candy, obviously.
Absolutely.
But that's for me. What about you?
So, I know a first date is what I want when I completely lose track of time.
Oh, yes.
That is the exact feeling that I search for,
Oh, that's really nice.
where I want nothing in the external world to interfere.
Yes.
And I've been on these dates before that accidentally end up lasting 5 hours.
Oh, we love
Because
that.
we just we started a bar and we decided another bar. Oh, you know what? Let's go to a restaurant actually now and have dinner. Or let's go to the cinema.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Whether it's spontaneous or not, it just keeps going.
happening. Yeah.
I went on a second date once where we just kind of ran errands together
Oh.
because we started at a museum and then we just really didn't want it to end. So, oh, hey, you want to go get breakfast now?
Aw.
I have to stop by this, but we can go to the park, which is right next to it. And then why don't we finish
That
with like
is adorable.
it just kept going and I was so immersed.
Oh,
That's
I
a
love
really
that.
good first date.
that
for me.
is. That is. I also like, I mean, this is not a first date, but I also love dates
Yeah.
where like it's so comfortable that we're doing nothing.
Yeah.
I love those dates.
Totally.
Like it doesn't have to be filled with activity, It's just sitting around lounging
Yeah.
and just being. I love that too.
But that's kind of how I know a first date's going well. Of course, I have my checklist going through in the background,
Yeah.
but I'm kind of, if I wanted to, I'm hoping it will just
Yeah.
progress somehow, continue.
Okay. Then do you have a favorite first date?
I do. My favorite first date. Again, I think I like it for this exact
Yeah.
reason that it was supposed to be quick drinks.
Yeah.
And it ended up being, I don't know, 4 hours,
Aw,
5 hours
that's so
probably.
cute.
We were just going to
Yeah.
meet for one cocktail, which turned into 3. And also, I will never forget, this man ordered for me.
Wait. That is, I think, okay.
We hadn't been talking for a terribly long time. Like, the topic of what's my favorite drink didn't come up. So he had no idea.
Yeah.
But he just ordered for me in Dutch, so I didn't have to interact, which is great.
Yeah.
And it was exactly what I was going to get. Like, on my own, had he not done anything.
I mean, you should see my face. My jaw is like about to touch my knee at this point.
And it was just like, I was mad for half a second.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this, the 1950s? It's so fucking disgusting. How anti-feminist of me to let a man order. And then that feeling went away in half a second because then I was just like,
My pussy's gone crazy!
my personal goal for this season is to use that sound in every episode somehow.
Okay.
But it really did. Once the progressiveness shut down, I was like,
yeah.
that was hot.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know how we followed it up? Hold on.
How?
He paid.
A Dutch man?
Uh-huh. We didn't split.
He paid.
He didn't know if he was getting a second date, but he paid.
A white Dutch man.
I know.
Okay, you know what? That sounds fake. Anyway.
There were a lot more elements to that date that made it better, but that's the highlight I like to.
Oh, I love that. I was going to say, like, because we're such dominant personalities, it's like, it didn't register to me. Like, if someone orders for me without even asking me, I'd be like, excuse me, sir, know your limits,
Well, it's so weird because if that were to ever happen, I could imagine me being the one to do it.
Exactly.
But let alone someone else doing it for me.
Exactly.
Kind of cute.
But also, like, that's the thing. Once, because you never expect it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you never expect, especially from a dominant personality, you don't expect a passive or another personality to shine like that.
So it was a nice little tango.
Oh, love that.
Unfortunately, like, completely downhill from there, the rest of it. But
absolutely.
Still a nice start.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. So I know exactly how that went.
That's probably my favorite if I had to pick. There've been other nice ones, but
Aw, that's very cute.
it's there.
So what about then the opposite, the worst?
Ooh, my worst. Unfortunately, there's a lot more to choose from.
Oh my God.
So I'm not stumped. I'm just going through the spreadsheet.
I know.
My worst wasn't really a serious date.
No.
I was traveling in an undisclosed Eastern European city. I don't remember what app it was from, but I met a local and they were like, oh, let's take a walk. I'll show the sights to you. And I was like, free tour guide, absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
We'll stop and get food at some point. And it was going fine, at least. And then the tour became less of a highlights of the city tour and more of a, and this is the park bathroom where I had a threesome last week. And I really gasped on the sidewalk.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, what is
going on?
Is this who we are? I was not, I mean, it was interesting.
But that's very trashy.
It was a bit much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't. That's what I said. Like, I have had such generic first dates.
I've had the whole gambit.
I know.
And for like the tour continued. There were many locations.
Oh, Jesus. That's like,
I don't know the purpose.
no, there's no purpose. There's no destination. Nothing.
Yeah.
No conclusion. But yeah, I mean, dates for me, either way, either they were like very weird.
Yeah.
Or they're very fun. There's nothing in between. I wouldn't. Okay, the worst first date for me was when I found out my date had an Asian fetish. That was the worst. And and of course I split the bill because he wouldn't pay
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
so
Now again though, like the feminist in me is saying that's fine and great for you.
yeah.
And it is fine. Like I know you
Yeah.
don't care.
But no, I don't mind paying at all. I would even like pay for the whole thing. It's not a
Yeah.
big deal. But at least fucking offer, you mannerless cunt. Like that is just he didn't even offer. So
Especially if you want a second date out
exactly.
of it. Oh my gosh. Because then at least you can set up a
Yeah.
you do the next one situation.
Exactly. So I
And if you know, sorry to interrupt, and if you know you don't want a second date, then pay for the whole damn thing
exactly.
and let the girl or boy go home in peace.
Exactly. And I said,
Criminal.
I was like, oh, let me pay. And he's like, no, let's split.
Call the police. We need to call the police.
I should have. Honestly, I should have.
Call the embassy. Get out of this
Fucking hell.
country.
Honestly. But anyway, that is that.
Well, not all
No.
dates hopefully or not,
Yeah.
no pressure,
Yeah.
should lead into a more fruitful relationship. But we're going to
Indeed.
come back to that
In the
next week's episode.
Yeah.
Another direction they go, or might start in the first place, is something a bit more spicy.
Yeah. Which is hooking up.
Of course. Also, I think a thing that was invented with dating apps and young people.
I don't think it was invented.
Yeah. I know people hooked up beforehand.
Accelerated, maybe.
But I think it's
yeah.
a lot more common now.
Yeah, and convenient also.
Totally.
Yeah.
And cosmopolitan.
Very.
Yeah.
What do you feel about just hooking up?
Well, I think there's a big difference between just hooking up, which I think you both agree, like that's the point and the purpose of it.
Yeah.
Maybe you do it again, maybe it's a one-time thing.
Yeah.
But very, very, very low stakes. And that's a bit different than like having sex on the first date,
Yeah.
which is allowed
Yeah.
in my book.
Yeah.
If it's working well.
Yeah.
There's something kind of cute about being coy and modest. But also, if you both want it, like what a good first date.
I know. Being coy and modest, that's very much rooted in disgusting psychological issues, which is linked to, again, sexualizing minors, actually.
True.
It's very disgusting.
The virgin first date.
The virgin first date.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Grow up.
I know.
Pay for her drinks and fuck her.
I know.
Like a man or a person.
I know. I am on books and on paper. I'm very much
I know.
I'm very much like I'm a good girl.
The irony.
I'm very much like I'm a good girl. I don't fuck on the first date.
Yeah.
It's not me.
Yeah.
At all. Don't even think about it.
Uh-huh.
And then if the date goes well, I'm like, well, I'm thinking about it. Are you thinking about it as well? So I don't mind. But when I first meet, I'm like, crossed legs, crossed arms, that sort of thing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and I feel the same way.
Yeah.
It's allowed. It's an option.
But hooking up, I mean, obviously I'm not opposed to it. I keep saying it whole life.
Yeah.
I mean, I have so much respect for it. For me, I did try it. And you know about it. I think I was at a very unusual point in my life.
Okay.
And I did try to hook up, but because that experience was so awful, I just kind of gave up on the concept altogether.
Oh no, I know.
It was, okay, here comes the story time. The second time the guy and I hooked up, first of all, he was like a frat boy. Like he lived like a frat boy. Did like
Okay. Oof.
awful living conditions, I would say. Like just untidy university frat boy. Just have that in your head.
Important question.
Yes.
Did he have a bed frame at least?
Yes.
Okay.
But a single bed.
Because I've done the no frame thing before, and actually I
Yeah.
haven't because I refuse to have sex on the ground.
Yeah.
Unless it's like in a hot way.
Yeah.
But it should not be the
No.
default.
No.
Ugh.
But it was, I would have rather had.
single?
Yeah, I would have rather had it on the ground, to be very fucking honest.
I wouldn't even bother having sex with myself in a single bed.
I know. Tell me about it. Anyway, it was so fucking bad. There was like a comedy series playing in the background.
Oh no.
And I actually laughed at the dialogues because it was going like I was so fucking bored with whatever he was doing. And he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I just like the guy a lot."
Oh my
you know?
gosh.
I'm like, I love the series a lot, whatever.
I was hooking up with someone once and he turned the TV off whilst going down on me. He's like, "I need a bit more attention right now." And I'm like, fair point, but I was just kind of enjoying the moment. But
Yeah, it was, and I think, and yeah, I mean, that hookup was wrong for so many reasons.
Yes.
He revealed all his fetishes to me also, which is very fine, but please don't impose it on me.
No.
Number one. And number two, don't keep pestering me to reveal if I have any fetishes also. And this is a grown man. This man was like 4 or 5 years older than me.
Ugh.
So I felt very much like an adult thinking that, you know, I'm with someone older than me who's more, you know, put together. Clearly fucking not.
No.
Brain of a 15-year-old. Absolutely.
Yikes.
Which would just put me off hooking up for fucking ever.
That's, yeah.
You know.
It'd be like that sometimes.
But yeah, that's how hooking up went for me. I don't know if I'm willing to try it again, but let's see. I'm still young and
Never say never, right conditions.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and the pandemic is here, so I have a bit of time to think about it.
True.
You know. Talking of hooking up, there is a segment of quote unquote relationships that very much rely on hooking up, which is friends with benefits.
Yes. Good point.
Thoughts?
Thoughts. Friends with benefits are, again, maybe, I don't know if it's a new invention. I just keep coming back to that idea.
Mila Kunis made a movie out of it, I think. So,
like, I think it's helpful sometimes. It's nice to have like a recurring visitor. But I think they're also so precarious. You never know if someone's going to catch feelings, or as soon as you start expecting it to become something more. Like I just approach it with very, very strict rules. And whenever people are coming to me for advice about it, I really give them these very strict rules.
Yeah.
Like you have to keep it very physical only. I don't like friends with benefits as a term. You need to conceptualize it in your head as you're just two people who occasionally fuck.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You can chat before and after.
Yeah.
And preferably not unless you're like in bed together.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it's more than that.
I know. I
Which
absolutely
is fine.
agree. Yeah.
But you better both understand what you're contributing to.
And be on the same fucking page.
And that is not very often.
No. I understand friends with benefits. I understand the concept.
Yeah.
In terms of formula also, I get it. Like this equation equals this.
Yeah.
I get it. Is it going to happen realistically between two human beings? I doubt it. Because
Well, and you know, it might, and then for some people it has. But
Yeah.
This is just our experience chunked
Exactly.
into a little wisdom bucket.
Exactly. Not even a wisdom bucket. It's just a garbage dump at this point.
I mean, yeah, it's happened before, and as soon as it started becoming more than just the benefit,
Yeah.
once the friend part came too
Yeah.
much, then it was a bit too close to home. For
You
me.
know what I'd like? Friends with benefits, and the benefit is that he pays my health insurance. I'd like that.
I think that's a sugar daddy.
Disgusting. Well, not really. If you were into sugar daddies, please
Yeah.
go on about your day. A lot of people are really revealing themselves as sugar babies. So
I was gonna say maybe send some resources my way.
that too. Not
But
for
yeah,
me, though.
I mean, friends with benefits, it's an option.
yeah.
It'd actually be cute if it worked. I just have very low expectations for it.
I have low expectations, and I can't decide if I catch feelings or not. You
Yeah.
know, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, and how do I control that? And if that person doesn't feel the same, then I'm gonna be hurt like crazy.
You know, it's weird because at least in my experience in talking to all my friends, people kind of enter into a friends with benefits setup when they're not ready for a relationship.
Relationship, yeah.
When ironically, you need even more maturity
Yeah.
and even more communication skills and
Exactly.
trust if you want to maintain a friends with benefits.
Exactly. Because
Not the other way around.
in a relationship, mostly you become friends and
Yeah.
then that graduates into becoming a relationship.
Yeah, sure.
You know? But this time around, it's you having solely physical benefits, and then also kind of maintaining a friendship, which in my book, you know, the friendship does not contain any physical benefit.
True. Hopefully. Phew. But
So
yeah.
yeah, I mean, of course, you're allowed to have another opinion on this, but I personally wouldn't be able to maintain a friends with benefits relationship at all.
I just know I can't.
I don't either. I mean, even if I go to therapy and if I rewire my brain,
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I mean, yeah, I like to avoid sleeping with my friends as much as possible because my brain does not handle it very well. But I don't know. Maybe you at home have better experience on this.
Or are more emotionally intelligent than us who can handle this better.
So then we would really like like
Right?
to know. Please let us know.
Yeah.
But because it, you know, maybe we're wrong and this should have been the first stage in
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
relationship plan. But I kind of see it as a whole separate
True.
entity there.
Moving on. I kind of want to, you know, conclude or wrap this session so that it becomes kind of a segue into our other
Yes, next week.
episode. I should have mentioned this, like I should have started with this question from the beginning of the episode, but I haven't.
Oh.
Do you have a type? And if so, what it is? What is it? I know the answer, but
Everyone has a type.
Everyone has a
We're
type.
very like simple. Meat in our heads
Yeah.
controls everything.
Exactly.
So everyone has a type.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna share it.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I have several different types for different needs.
True.
For different seasons.
True. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
What about you?
I have very distinct type. I have a very distinct type, which I will reveal probably in the next episode. But
That's a good cliffhanger.
but there are two elements I always ask for, and I already mentioned it.
Yeah.
It's what's their height and what's the zodiac.
True.
I'm not going to tell you the cutoffs because that's just not going to, like, you know, I'm not going to reveal
Not the
what gets you into the
criteria.
organization.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely. Then I'd be a bad interviewer.
We know they're listening right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Because actually, we get a lot of viewership or
Through our app,
listenership, I should say, through our dating apps.
which we're very thankful for you if you're listening.
So if you found us through a dating app,
Welcome.
congratulations.
You're in for a fucking ride.
Good episode to start with. Ask us out on a date now if you dare.
I'm finger gunning you. Pew pew. But yeah.
And especially if you're those types of listeners, tune in next week if you want to know the real secret being with us long term. Because in that episode, we're continuing
yes.
with real dating, love, marriage,
Yes.
and the end.
Everything else.
Everything else.
I want to conclude by asking, what are you looking for? That's a heavy question, isn't it?
Sponsors.
True.
That's not for
Or
my life.
sugar daddy.
No, not for my life, for the podcast.
Oh my God. Okay.
What about you?
I keep saying I'm looking for a relationship, and every time a guy gives me attention, I'm like, huh? So honestly, I don't know what I'm looking for. Maybe just validation, and I don't know. At this point, I don't know what I'm looking for. I want to be that bitch that says I don't know what I'm looking for, and finds what she's looking for, and then says I don't want it.
You know, it's always when you're not looking for it that's when you find it.
Take
But
it back.
I kind of I don't want to agree with that because it's so stupid. But
You know what it is?
huh?
Like the shit that you say, like cheesy ass shit like this, like
Yeah.
when you're not looking for something like that. If you have CoStar, the app, that fucks you up. Because you can send messages to yourself and they will time it in a way that like it'll pop up like
Oh,
out of
yes.
nowhere. Yesterday I got a notification too, and I was like, what the fuck's gonna happen now? Weird ass shit. And that makes me believe in like the not knowing the probability of
gosh.
the universe.
You really have to just stop doing that to yourself.
I know.
This is a you problem.
I know. Anyway, if you still want to date me, I'm here, I guess. No, I'm not going to undersell myself like that. If you want to date me, we need to go through a 3-layered interview process.
Absolutely.
The third and the final will also include Mark and probably my mother. So
If you want to date me, good luck finding me because I am not looking for you right now. And if you can, props to you because that will probably be the only thing that changes my mind.
if you really want to date me, go through my Twitter and try not to block me. That's it. Try not to block me on Twitter and we'll see how it goes.
Like and retweet at least half of my posts and then
Ew, please don't find me on Twitter. I don't want that kind of attention.
we have very different approaches.
Anyway, this has been a long ass episode.
Who you should find on Twitter, however, is us.
At audacity.fm.
_FM. This is
Twitter.
You're the only one who brings it up and this is the only time.
This is what happens when
messed
you keep thinking about straight white men and you talk about them. Your brain becomes jello, basically.
After you give up searching for us personally on Twitter, find us at Audacity_FM. And you'll find our link tree there, which has everything else at Audacity.fm on other social medias and every major podcasting platform, including YouTube.
Yes. And
And you should also, whilst you're there, leave a nice little rating and review to help our show grow.
And if you want to, share with us your voice messages, which we will feature on our upcoming episodes.
Absolutely. And you can do that right on Anchor, our podcasting host. You can also support us there if you wish.
Yes.
In the meantime, share this with your friends.
Share this with your enemies.
And be sure to tune in next week for the continuation of this topic.
Exactly.
We're going to finish the 12-step program.
cycle.
Hopefully.
All right. See you later.
See you there.
Bye.
Bye.